I speak today on Jewish betrothals, past and current. Jewish marriage started with an engagement arranged by parents, often between children, sometimes even newborn babies. And this was not just to the rich, this was all children. Now, just prior to marriage, couples begin a year-long betrothal, very much like a marriage, except for sexual rights. A betrothal was, and still is, binding, and could be terminated only by the death or divorce of one of the parties. A person whose betrothed has died was considered to be a widow or widower. When Joseph found Mary pregnant without his knowledge or participation, this violated the terms of their betrothal and contract. She had to come to the marriage bed a virgin, as confirmed by a doctor in most contracts. She had to be chaste and living a pure life. And she had to know only the skills of life as taught by her and to her in the convent. For Mary, it was a special thing because spending half your life in a convent gave you more than just basic homemaking skills. Upon being found pregnant by not her betrothed, Mary was guilty of adultery. The man who was alleged to have impregnated her was not guilty of adultery under Jewish law unless he was married, still under contract, and also had a live birth from his wife. If there was no live birth, and if he was not still under contract, it was not adultery. But for every woman, always, she was guilty of adultery. The Jewish law required that Mary be stoned to death because she would have been considered an adulteress, and the baby would have been stoned to death too. They would have waited until it was born before they killed it. Deuteronomy 22, verses 23-24. The penalty for adultery was death by stoning at the door of her father's house, as she had disgraced her father. In the 613 Mosaic laws, they even declare the size and weight of the stones that must be used by her father, her brothers, her betrothed, his family. No woman may ever throw a stone for any reason. They may only be found guilty. They may not participate in the sentence. Since Joseph was a just man of great mercy, he resolved to divorce Mary quietly, so that he might not cause her unnecessary pain. But she, having been divorced and given birth, would become a prostitute, for that would be the only employment available. She would not be taken into any house. Her father's house would have kicked her out. She would not be even allowed to become a cleaner in any house. By Joseph wanting to quietly divorce her, he shows us Christ-like compassion in the face of her supposed sin. He also demonstrates a godly balance between the law of Torah and the law of love. In a dream, Joseph learns that the child had been conceived by the Holy Spirit, not man, and that he, Joseph, is to be the foster father of the Christ. claiming the child by naming him, and then rearing him. Joseph, through trust and faith in God, accepted his mission as the foster father of the Son of God. Wouldn't that scare the piss out of you? Sorry, that was crude, but think of it. You are to be the foster parent of the child of God. Do you spank him? Do you ground him? How do you do anything? He is God. I mean, that raises some really funny things, but some not so funny ones too. So think on that. You think your situation of being a blended family is uncomfortable, but sometimes funny. Imagine this one. Peace to all. Laugh this week. Please. Laugh this week. If you don't, you will be forcing me to file one of my, shall we say, unusual weather reports from this week. You can get an idea from my weather report of the other day. I'm still crying about that. But this one was written with great joy, and I ended up submarining 4 different weather people on the air. They read part of this about the viscosity of pig snot. And how it is more slippery than any other known substance that I've found. So if you want to see that, you have to write to me. You have to write to me, otherwise I won't post it. Peace and laughter to all of you.